Hi there guys, welcome to another video. So today I'm asking, what does Warhammer 9th edition mean for Conquest? So Warhammer 40k Conquest finished maybe about 5 or 6 weeks ago in the UK, but it is still rampaging throughout Europe and different parts of the world. In some areas, it's up to about issue 35, I believe, in France and Italy. It's a little bit further than that in Spain. It's a little bit less than that in Germany. I think it's around about the 35 mark over in Australia right now as well. So it has been opening up in more and more territories as time goes on. But I've been wondering, what is the end game when it comes to the new edition of Warhammer 40k? So 40k Conquest focuses on 8th edition rules. And with those 8th edition rules, it's got the own specific rules for things like terrain and that kind of thing, which we know is going to receive updates and change with the 9th edition. So that will effectively make the information there defunct. Now, I don't believe that the current issues or the current versions of Conquest which are being fulfilled at the moment, I don't think they'll change. I don't think they'll rewrite anything to accommodate the 9th edition. So I'm kind of wondering about what happens to the other territories. So the US, for example, doesn't have 40k Conquest yet. And almost every post I put on things like Reddit and a few Instagrams and that kind of thing, I get people that are not happy that America doesn't have Conquest yet. So what is going to happen? So for me, there's 3 things that could happen. Number 1 is nothing. These other territories just won't get Conquest. Number 2, they'll get them in exactly the same way as it was released in the UK and exactly the same way as it's been released elsewhere. So although 9th edition will be out, they will still fulfill Conquest in its current form. Or number 3, they will rewrite some of the rules to accommodate 9th edition. Now, that's the things that could happen. What do I think will happen? I think that the US and some of those other large territories, I think they will get Conquest eventually. And I think they'll get exactly the same Conquest as we've all received. There might be just a slip of paper that's inside the cellophane that says, this is based on 8th edition rules. If you want to upgrade to 9th edition, the rule books are out now. Go to Warhammer, blah, 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 blah. But I think that, first and foremost, I think they will come out in those other territories, and I think that they will be exactly as they are now, because all that stuff's been developed and all the work's already been done. So I think it will just roll out as is. Codex-wise and that kind of thing, what we've got in Conquest is exactly what you would get in your book codexes. So none of that's going to change, and that won't change for 9th edition. So a new edition is coming out, but our codexes will stay the same, and that will not change for Conquest. One thing that will change is, if you look at the FAQ that they've got available on the website, are unit points going to change? And the answer is yes. A new edition gives us an opportunity to reset the balance of power across the whole game. Expect to see a lot of points changing in armies for some balance purposes, and some for balance purposes, and some to reflect the increased efficiency of units that become more powerful with the changes to core rules. Now, it's got something here as well about what is this we're hearing about Crusade. So Crusade is the narrative-driven aspect of 9th edition. I don't even know why I'm calling it 9th edition so much. Games Workshop aren't specifically referring to it as 9th edition yet, but a lot of us are. Right, what's this we're hearing about Crusade? We're glad you asked, because we're proper excited about it. Crusade is a new system for narrative play that will allow you to interact with Warhammer 40,000 collection in a deeper, more meaningful way. If you love the lore of Warhammer 40,000, narrative in your games, campaigns, meaningful battles, and collecting an army to a theme, you're going to love Crusade. Now, having said that, I think that one of the massive pluses for Conquest is the way it sets the theme. So we see the Death Guard versus the Space Marines on a range of different battlefields on a constantly evolving and growing aspect. So there's a real story to follow there, right from issue number 1 to issue 80. That's developed and it's opened up, and it teaches us how to play the game, and it teaches about those core rules for 40k without needing this great big monstrosity of a book, for which 9th edition is probably going to be a similar size. It's got a section here, how can I get the rules? We're going to make it easy to get your hands on the new rules and start playing. The core rules for the game will be free, You'll have several options on how to get your hands on the full rule book. Now, the core rules they're talking about there are the battle primer that we received with Conquest. So if you remember that fold out core rules thing that we had there, we're talking about a new battle primer just for 9th edition. Now, interestingly, the starter box for 40k 8th edition is something that Conquest is deeply invested in, and that is the Dark Imperium box, which that is now going out of print with GW. So it says here what happens to Dark Imperium. Dark Imperium will be retired pretty soon. If you want it, you don't have that long to grab one. So it says, so basically everything that we hold dear with Conquest is really coming to an end. The box set that it's heavily based on won't be available. This book won't be available soon. So it is kind of going away. But I do still think that GW will use the resources of what's already available from that to continue to push this series out. What languages will the new Warhammer 40,000 be launched in? So English, obviously Conquest is available in English. French, it's running in France. German, yes. Spanish, yes. Italian, yes. Chinese and Japanese. I don't think Conquest is out in either of those right yet, but correct me if I'm wrong. The core rules for the game will be available to download digitally for even more languages. Look out for a fall list soon. And then finally, when is it coming out? So again, in terms of the timing of the current Conquest magazine in various territories around the world, I was partially expecting for this to be coming in, 2021, giving us a real good run up and letting us know nice and early, because we're all in lockdown and everyone's really hungry for new information. But it looks like we are not going to have to wait very long at all. I love it. I want it. When can I have it? And the answer is really soon. We're a few weeks off just yet, but we wanted to give you a bit of a heads up so you could get ready. And because we're too excited to keep the news to ourselves any longer, we'll let you know when we have more news on an exact release date. And now we've actually seen some news that's broken, I think in the last day or so, that the UK prices for the core set is touted to potentially be £120. So, and that's based on some information that was available on the Warhammer community website today, saying that there was a prize draw of 10 prizes worth £120 each, and that was related to the release. So people have put 2 and 2 together and gone, do you know what, this is going to retail at 120 quid. But anyway, that is enough of that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. So the next video in this range is going to be, what does 40k 9th edition mean for Kill Team? So I'm a big fan of Kill Team, but what they're talking about is balancing games regardless of the size. So you can have really tiny games, potentially Kill Team size games, but the rules are going to balance it. Now, I've got various thoughts on that, and I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's a good thing for Kill Team and it's a bad thing for Kill Team. Will it maintain its own fan base? Will people start to slowly bleed away from it because they can get those smaller games of 40k in? I'll be running through all of that in the next video out in this series, which will be out in a few days. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Much appreciated. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.